Senior High School On-Air Academy. Unstoppable! Delivering you quality education amidst pandemic.
To be fair, school opening to October 5.
Unstoppable!
Giving you accessible learning platform anytime, anywhere.
Ng klase, whatever form it is.
Comprehensible!
Buckle up and get yourself ready.
I will repeat, then you will do it later on.
Accurate!
The sphere that includes all living
Today,
things.
we will be talking about rational functions.
Simplify.
This is Jaws speaking. How may I help you?
This is the Pet School Radio's Senior High School On-Air
On-Air
Academy. And now, here's your new episode for
Walking like a boss.
Your guide in the subject, organization and management.
Walking like a boss. Walking like a boss. Walking like a boss.
Hi there, my dear grade 11 students. Senior High School Academy's Walking Like a Boss is now waving at you. We're about to travel to the world of organization and management. This is Sir Alexander Espicio, your teacher on air. Come on, ride with us, buckle up, and be ready to learn through radio.
Ayun na, sa Radyo Eskwela. Ayun na, sa Radyo Eskwela. Tayo na!
But before starting up, make sure that you are in your most comfortable place where you can hear our broadcast clearly without any disturbances. Also prepare with you water or snacks. At this moment, kindly bring out your learning activity sheets or LAS in Organization and Management. Now that you have with you your LAS, kindly place it on your side because this will serve as your guide in our on-air discussion later on. However, if you don't have with you your LAS, worry not because all you have to do is to listen attentively. Are you ready for another fascinating and informative tour? That's great! In our last discussion, you have analyzed the role of communication in directing people within an organization. Whereas, the communication process starts with the sender who has an idea or a message, which is then transmitted through a selected channel to the receiver, who in turn has to be ready for the reception of message, so that it could be decoded into thoughts. What are the types of communication? That's correct. Communication may be verbal, using oral and written words, and or non-verbal, through body movements, gesture, facial expressions, eye contact, and by touching. Communication flows in different directions within an organization. Communication may be vertical, upward, downward, horizontal or lateral, or diagonal. Again, what is communication networks in organizations? You're definitely right. Communication networks are varied patterns of combined horizontal and vertical flow of organizational communication. Types of communication networks include chain network, wheel network, and channel networks. Organization members may encounter various types of barriers that can alter the meaning of communications that they receive. These barriers including filtering, emotions, information overload, defensiveness, language, and national culture. How can we overcome communication barriers in an organization? To avoid conflicts resulting from communicating problems, managers try to overcome communication barriers using feedback, simple language, active listening, controlling emotion, and observing body language. Last time, you performed a series of activities, right? You define communication with a twist through an acrostic poem using the word communication. I'm pretty sure that your poems are creatively done and definitely determines your understanding about our previous topic. You also have analyzed communication flows and the given scenarios and created presentations that reflect your understanding of what communication in an organization is about. Your subject teacher, through the rubrics presented last time, will surely check all this. Now, can you still recall your answers in your exercise number 2? If that is so, let us find out the correct answers. If you have a copy of your answers, take it and we'll see how many points you've gained. Let's proceed. If you can still remember, your task is to describe the process of communication by identifying the role of its components. The communication process involves steps that we take in order to communicate successfully. Components of the communication process include a sender, encoding of a message, selecting of a channel of communication, receipt of the message by the receiver, and decoding of the message. Let's start checking. Take note, if there are statements or sentences close to your answers, you can consider them as correct answers. Alright, first answer. The sender decides the message to be transmitted. Next step. The sender encodes the message. Third. The sender selects the appropriate channel of communication. Fourth answer. The receiver receives the message. Fifth one. The receiver decodes the message. And for the last step, the receiver provides the feedback to the sender. How many correct items did you get? I hope you've answered very well on our last test. Your scores signify how well you understood our previous topic. Now that you are very well informed about communication applied within the organization, let me ask, what is sale? How do you control management in marketing? How to successfully gain profit in a business? Well, our lesson for today can answer all those questions. So better listen attentively right after this infomercial.
Nay! Ang sabi sa balita, yellow warning ang ulan. Ibig ba sabihin kulay dilaw ang ulan?
Hindi anak. Ang tawag dyan ay rainfall warning. Ang yellow warning ay ginagamit para lamang paalalahanan ang mga mamamayan na maging mapagmatyag dahil posible ang pagbaha.
Meron din bang ibang kulay, inay?
Mayroong orange warning na nagpapahiwatig na kailangang maging alerto dahil mapanganib ang pagbaha. Merong ding red warning upang magpaalala sa mga residente sa mga mababang lugar na lumikas sa ligtas at mas mataas na lugar.
Ganoon ba, inay? Ngayon alam ko na.
Maging handa sa anumang sakuna. Isang paalala mula sa Department of Education, NDRRMC at ng himpilang ito.
I'm back. This is Sir Alex, your radio teacher. In this episode, you're expected to apply the concept, nature of different control methods, and techniques in accounting and marketing. Before we start, let me share to you the story of the late Henry C., the richest man in the Philippines when he was still alive. Can you believe that he started his businesses from scratch? That is right. He started his business by owning a small shoe store in Quiapo. His decision to sell shoes was due to the losses his family experienced in World War II, thinking that everyone would need shoes following the aftermath of the war. He sold surplus GI boots and saved finances before he established Shoe Mart, or now well known as SM. With determination and proper handling of business, in November 1972, he opened SM Quiapo. From one mall, now it is one of the largest shopping mall in the Philippines and in the world. Are you inspired? Well, that's great. To become like him, management control must be mastered. Management control in marketing is the control that makes use of projected sales or forecasts, statistical models, econometric modeling, surveys, historical demand data, and actual consumption of products. Sales is considered the lifeblood of businesses. When we say lifeblood, the blood as being necessary to life. Therefore, it is the thing that keeps every business running. No matter how good the product is, if it is not sold in the market, there is no way that a business can survive. Thus, the projected sales often guide the sales manager or the marketing head on how much the target or the quota must be. Let me ask, what do you think is the main goal of a business? That's right. The goal of businesses is generally to gain profit. In order to achieve this, managers need accounting and financing controls. The following financial ratios will help managers analyze the organization's financial condition. These are liquidity ratio or current ratio, leverage ratio, activity ratio, profitability ratio, return on investment ratio, and asset management or inventory turnover ratio. Let's have the first one. Liquidity ratio or current ratio. This tests the organization's ability to meet short-term obligations. It may also refer to acid test done when inventory's turnover is slowly or are difficult to sell. This can be achieved using the formula current ratio is equal to current assets per current liabilities, or current ratio is equal to the current assets divided by current liabilities. Whereas, current assets are stock, debtor, cash in bank, receivable, loan and advances, and other current assets. Current liabilities or creditor, short-term loan, bank overdraft, outstanding expenses, and other current liability. Let me repeat it. The formula is current ratio is equal to current assets per current liabilities, or current ratio is equal to current assets divided by current liabilities. Oops, reminder, kinda take down the formulas I'm telling you from now on, because you will be using those in your exercises and activities later on. The next one is leverage ratio. It determines if the organization is technically insolvent, meaning that the organization's financing is mainly coming from borrowed money or from the owner's investments. The formula is a debt to asset ratio is equal to the total debt divided by the total assets, whereas total debt is the sum of all short and long-term debt. Next on the list is activity ratio. Determines if the organization is carrying more inventory than what it needs. The higher the ratio, the more efficiently inventory assets are being used. To determine this ratio, you can make use of this formula. inventory turnover is equal to the cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory. Whereas, turnover is a ratio showing how many times a company has sold and replaced inventory during a given period. Cost of goods sold refers to the direct cost of producing the goods sold. In addition, average inventory is the calculation that estimates the value or number of a particular good or set of goods during two or more specific time periods. What's the next ratio? That's correct. Profitability ratio. This determines the profits that are being generated. To achieve this ratio, use this formula. Net profit after taxes divided by total sales, in which net income after taxes, or NIAT, is financial term used to describe a company's profit after all the taxes have been paid. Taxes are compulsory contribution to state revenue levied by the government on workers' income and business profits, or added to the cost of some goods, services, and transactions. And total sales or gross sales is defined as the value of all invoiced for accounting period, such as month or a year before making adjustments. Let's have return on investment ratio. Measures the efficiency of assets to generate profits. Return on investment ratio is equal to the net profit after taxes over total assets. And we're down to the last ratio, asset management or inventory turnover ratio. It is the ability to use resources efficiently and operate the minimum cost with a formula. Inventory is equal to total sales divided by average inventory. Strategic plans serve as the control points for strategic control, a systematic monitoring at control points that leads to change in the organization's strategies based on assessments done on the said strategic plans. Control provides a chance for comparing the plan's intended goals with the actual organizational performance. This becomes the basis for the modifications in the firm's strategies. Next is benchmarking, which is also important. It is the process of measuring the performance of a company's products, services, or processes against those another business considered to be the best in the industry, aka best in class. The point of benchmarking is to identify internal opportunities for improvement. There are three types of benchmarking in businesses. We have a strategic benchmarking, which compares various strategies and identifies the key strategic elements of the success. Second one, operational benchmarking, which compares relative costs or possibilities for product differentiation. And the last one is management benchmarking, which focuses on the support functions such as market planning and information system, logistics, and human resource management, among others. That is according to Weyrich and Konst. We are now done in discussing concepts of different control methods and techniques. It is now time to test and apply your understanding. Kindly bring out your pen, notebook, or any sheet of paper before we start. As a review, let's now have exercise 1 that is entitled Map of Accounting or Financial Control Ratios. What you have to do is to draw a square at the center of your paper containing the word accounting or financial control ratios. Done? Okay, next. Draw 6 squares around the center square. I know you're done. Let's proceed. Your next task is to write the 6 accounting or financial control ratios and each of the square around. I hope you're done. Lastly, draw another 2 squares onto the squares drawn around the center square and then write the definition in the first square and the formula to the other. Are you now done? If not, don't worry because you can still answer this exercise in your most comfortable time. Are you up for another exercise? That sounds great. But before I will give you another activity, remember these important concepts. First, the lifeblood of a business is sales. Next, the goal of any businesses is to gain profit. And lastly, in order to achieve this gain, financial ratios will help managers analyze the organization's financial condition. Now, let us apply the formulas of accounting or financial control ratios. Show your solutions in every problem. Write your answers on your answer sheets. Since it's not that hard to compute the values of the missing ratios, I will be giving you 30 seconds in each of the items. I will just be giving you 3 problems to answer. Let's start. Item number 1. Identify the activity ratio of a computer shop if its cost of goods sold is 12 million pesos and the average inventory is 24 million. You may now start. I hope you're done. Let's check it. Do you like to know if you got the correct answer? Okay then. Here's the formula first. Inventory turnover is equal to cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory. Substituting the values, 12 million divided by 24 million will give you a ratio of 2. Do you achieve the same value? If yes, you are superb. Take note that the higher the ratio, the more efficiently inventory assets are being used. Let's try number 2. What is the current ratio of a department store located in Cagayan Valley? Its current assets amount to 6 million, while its current liabilities are at 2 million pesos. Analyze and interpret your answer. Time starts now. Time's up. How confident are you in your answers? Aha! It seems that you're pretty sure with your answers. Okay, let's check it. Here's the formula that must be used. Current ratio is equal to current assets divided by current liabilities. Substituting the values from the problem, 6 million over 2 million will give you a ratio of 3. Do you have the same value? Of course. Remember that the higher the ratio, the more an organization can be able to meet short-term obligations efficiently. You're doing well. Let's now have the last situation. Item number 3. Compute the return on investment of a grocery store if its net profit after taxes is 10 million pesos and its total assets is 10 million pesos. Analyze and interpret your answers. You can do it now. spins up. It's easy, right? Here's the formula to get the ratio presented in the problem. Return on investment is equal to the net profit after taxes divided by total assets. Whereas, net profit after taxes is 10 million divided by the assets 100 million will give you a ratio of 10. Of course, you got the correct answer. The higher the ratio, the more an organization can be able to generate profit efficiently. Wow, you are showing a great manifestation of your deep understanding on our topic, learners. Get ready for our final activity. Let us go deeper. This activity needs your knowledge on balance sheets and income statement. If there is a need for you to review the financial statements, please feel free to do so. Financial statements were discussed in the previous chapter. Write your name, grade level, and date. Let's begin. Please refer to the information that I will be mentioning, so listen carefully. Show your solutions. You may refer to the formulas discussed before. Each item will be given 5 points. Cagayan Valley Agri Corporation Statement of Financial Position on January 31, 2020. Here are the assets. Cash is 5,000. Receivable is 10,000. Inventory is 15,000. Land and building has a value of 150,000. And for equipment, 100,000, with a total assets of 280,000. Liabilities and owner's equity. Current liabilities. Accounts payable is 5,000. Note payable is 10,000. Owner's equity. The capital is 15,000 and the net income is 250,000. Cagayan Valley Agri-Crop Income Statement as of December 31, 2020. Sales is 350,000. Cost of goods sold is 80,000. Gross income is 270,000. The expenses is 70,000. The value of net profit is 200,000. Income tax 20,000. Net profit after tax is 180,000. And the average inventory is 20,000. Based on the data presented, answer the following question and compute for the missing ratio or value. Item number 1. Compute for the current ratio. Number 2. Compute for the activity ratio. Item number 3. Compute for the profitability ratio. And number 4. Compute for the inventory turnover ratio. Your time starts now. I'm sure you're done. Congratulations! We will be checking your assessment on our next episode, so never forget to tune in. That ends our activity, hoping that you will get the high score, signifying that you learned a lot from our topic. If you have questions, clarification, and queries, kindly write them down and send it to your teacher. Now, if you have time, you can look back to your last and answer the remaining exercises not included in this episode. Let's call it a day. Always be sure to tune in on our School on Air every Monday to Friday. Till next time, always remember, listening is the beginning of understanding. On behalf of the SDO Isabela RBI production team, I'm your radio teacher, Sir Alexander Espicio, saying stay home, stay safe, and goodbye.
Patuloy ang edukasyon para sa ating henerasyon.
Sa daan ng pagkatuto ay walang may iwan.
Kaya halina sa Radyo Eskwela.